Right, welcome to this battlefield terrain tutorial. I've gone for a desert theme here, an abandoned imperial base overrun by the sands of time here. So as per usual this series, I'll run through each of the stages as we build up this terrain, and at the end we'll have some panning shots and some music to give you the feel and the atmosphere for this desert board. So you should see all the links in the video description below for each of the elements that make up this board. So as per usual, you start with the foundation. That's going to give you your base to work on and the colours and the sort of colour palette that you can use to then build up the terrain on top of that. So this battle mat here is called Sands of Time. It's from GameMat.eu. It's a nice desert board here. Now this design is out of production, but they've replaced it with one that's virtually the same. Just pretty much removed the dried riverbed from the middle, but the rest of it, the colour scheme and the textures and so on, are exactly the same. 6 by 4 in size. I marked the edge off here with these, but they do this mat in the 60 by 44 inches, so the current size for regular games of 9th edition Warhammer 40,000. So that's the mouse mat material, so it gives you a nice flat gaming surface, rolls out nice and flat, nice and quiet on the dice, figure friendly as well, and then it just gives you that foundation colour. So you can look at the colours here. You've got cracked texture here, there's some brickwork and patterns, and the sand kind of effect there as well. So that just gives you a brilliant foundation, nice sort of textures going on, and it gives you sort of the colour scheme as you add the rest of the layers to the board. So that gives you a foundation. Then you're trying to build the terrain up. It's a great line of sight blocking terrain, places to hide, areas of interest across the board. So I've combined two sets from GameMat.eu, pre-painted terrain sets here. So the first is the rocky desert rocks set, it's called. So it's a collection of rocks, all shapes and sizes. So there's this large piece across here. There's also another large piece across there, that one. You get two large archways. You get two of these. The other archway you can see across there. You get two smaller archways as well. So they're dotted around the board. It's another one of the smaller mounds just there. So you get that rocky desert rocks set, and then I've gone for a combination with the rocky base set. So that one, it's the same kind of rocks going on, but then there's the base has been incorporated into it. So that's that piece there. You actually get that ruin with the crater. You get this piece here, another building, and you get those two missile silos across the other side as well. So combine those two together. Now I've made a slight adjustment with these. The colours that they come in generally match this mat. You can pretty much get away with it, no problem. But it's quite strong on the brown, so I've given it a light dusting of skeleton bone, the army painter spray, just a very light dust across all of this. It tones down all of the work that's been done on the buildings as well. Just dusts it for you with that sand kind of colour. And if you do that, it just tones the colours down, they lose a bit of their strength. It just washes a bit of the colour out, and then it just matches in just that little bit better with the battle mat. It's an easy adjustment to do, just slight sprays, being careful, rotating the terrain piece around, another light spray, you're just catching that, and it just dusts it for you, and it matches the toning with the mat. It's very easy to do. It took me about 10 minutes to do both of those sets. That's if you really want the terrain to match in nicely with the battle mat. So combining those two sets together, as you can see, it fills up the table quite nicely. It is important for games of 40k. You've got your line of sight blocking terrain, areas for models to hide and to be obscured, as you can see here when you get down to the level. You're just blocking out line of sight for you. I've added in a bit of Games Workshop AdMech terrain, just a small cluster of buildings and structures across here. Then what I've done is just taken normal sand. This is really, really good fun. And then you can scatter it around the terrain just to make it look like this base has just been abandoned and the sands have swept in, sandstorms and so on. And then you can pour it. I use a cup, put it into the sand, and then just drop it down and create these dunes. You choose a direction you think the wind is going. So I've chosen sort of this direction for the dunes, and then just run them across. And that just, again, it's a great way of blocking off line of sight. It look great when tanks and so on are driving up and down the embankments. There's a large one there, there's one across the other side, there's one across here you can see. It's just a great feature to add to create that real sort of sand dune kind of effect, and it just gives you nice contours across the board. So that's easily done. So the people say, well, how do you pack out? I just pick out all the pieces, dust them off, put them away, and then lift the corners of the battle mat and pour all the sand into the middle, collect the sand, take the mat outside, and then bash it a few times, get all the dust off of it, roll it up and put it away. So it's not too bad. The mat will hold all the terrain, or hold all the sand on it for you, and you can collect it and put it away when you've finished your game. But it's just a real nice desert kind of effect. And the sand links the terrain into the boards. You just get that real sort of seamless look. Then after that, really, it's just accessories. So there's boxes and barrels dotted around. There's a few ACAC anti-aircraft guns. There's some barricades as well. Just place them on, drop a bit of sand over them just to blend them in. You've got this crane here, which I've put in at an angle. You can really sort of half bury stuff in the sand as well, just to create that abandoned kind of effect. And that's the result that you get. So really, it's a battle mat here, gives you a foundation. 2 terrain sets to really fill up the board, and then you can add in a little bit of extra terrain just to really finish it off and give it that abandoned base kind of theme. So links for all of those in the video description below. It's quite straightforward, this one, and hopefully you like the effect that you can see. Fighting across the desert, always good fun. Very atmospheric board. Here, we'll fade out and we'll pan around the board, and you can take a look at the different angles of this table. Keep a lookout for more tutorials for terrain on the channel. Feel free to copy this in every stage. Do your own variety with battle mats and terrain and so on. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.